Hello everyone, welcome back to Assassin's Creed Valhalla Wrath of the Druids Part 5. In this mission video I'm going to show you how we handle the royal demands. This is another added instrumental backbone to this DLC. You're not just running mission after mission, you have other things that you can do to keep you busy, and this is introduced in this mission as you visit Kiara. Remember, Kiara works for King Flann, and her job is to set you up and make sure that you're ready to take on his demands. He wants to go to war with Ulster, a very fearsome and revered part of Ireland, and he needs as many allies as he can. To gain those allies, we're going to work for these rival kings, doing little jobs for them, dirty work, and of course you're the man to do it. Ava is class at this kind of thing, so she tells you that in pigeon posts throughout Ireland she will leave you assignments and you will run off and do the work for them. And there are elements to each of these missions that allow you to earn trade supplies and exotic goods and things that you could use in your trade business. So this is really cool. Everything is tying together very nicely, and ultimately Ava gets to help his cousin King Barid increase his favour with the High King Flann. So this is turning out quite nicely. Let's see how we get on with this. Also a little bit of romance with Kiara too.
Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me were meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
So how these work, every time you see one of these pigeon stores, you're going to go and interact with it, and there are various missions, and these are what we call the royal demands. These have come from other kings who need Ava to do some dirty work, and completing these missions will raise your renown and help to gain favour from these rival kings, and help to boost King Flann's army so that he can attack Ulster with a big enough force. These missions have something in it for you. They are going to earn you exotic materials and trade post materials, things like that. And each one of these missions comes with sub conditions called the King's Plea, such as don't take any damage or don't kill anyone, that kind of thing. Do not be detected, and they differ between each one. So this will send you to various locations, and you have a choice. You can just go in heavy, ignoring the pleas, and you'll get slightly less material as a reward, or you can try and nail this and do everything and all the sub conditions, King's Pleas, and do it without being detected and things like that, and you'll be able to earn a bit more material. So what you do with this, it helps to complete the story mission, and you're helping your cousin King Barid gain favour with King Flann, but you're also helping to bolster and build up your trade business, because there aren't that many monasteries that you can raid, and from my experience there aren't that many camps and monasteries that have the materials you need to build the outpost. So I've managed to unlock 5 outposts now, but I haven't got enough trade post materials to get each of the 3 builds and each one done, so I need to go around and find these materials. I'm getting plenty of exotic materials, and I'm finding that the trade side of the business is working nicely. However, I need to increase the amount of trade materials, trade post materials that I have, and that will come. And I wondered why I wasn't seeing the right number of monasteries and things. So I really thought, well, perhaps I haven't synchronized enough areas, and maybe I haven't unlocked enough of those areas to find the materials I need. But actually I realise now it's tied up in the royal demands. This is another very clever twist just to keep things fresh and make things a little bit different. So I am once again very much in favour and really enjoying this DLC, and I think that the way that they've done this has taken a lot of thinking about to make it exciting and something different that you can do that will keep you busy, and not just repeating the same old process that we've done quite heavily throughout the story arcs in England. So I was very much hoping that we were going to see a different side to the game with this DLC and not just more of the same. So here we are trying to collect some of the things, and I'm just making sure here that I've taken everything that I can. Again, I've been to this abbey before and cleared it out, as it's quite close to one of my trade posts, so having to come back here now and just kill a target and take some of the jewels back to the king, I'm just making sure I've done that quickly. Once you're done, you need to leave the area, and then you just head back to the post, the pigeon post, and there'll be another task waiting for you, and you just repeat this process. And the tasks differ, they're not all just collecting things. Sometimes you're going to have to take out some targets, but essentially it's exactly what Ava is good at. So in this one, we're going to go and take out some targets who are located in a camp, and I'm not 100% sure if I'm supposed to have been to some of these places before, because obviously it's a free roam game, and I've said before you can spend time exploring and finding things, and the temptation is there to try to get those trade post materials and get your trade business set up so that you can collect the different sets of armor and the different sets of clothing that you can get once you've got all 7 of the trade posts unlocked. And that's what I love about this game, is that you're free to do things the way you want, and if you do end up going to a location you've already been to before, it doesn't matter. It just means that you can save a bit of time. You don't have to actually go around and collect everything because you've already done it. I'm not particularly good at I have an itchy trigger finger, so I want to get in there and get into the conflict, so I'm not particularly good at being patient and waiting, and perhaps some of these king's pleas, I need to work on that and try and think about if it's worth actually sitting back and not going in heavy. I just want to clear these targets out and get them, and there are 3 separate targets, and when you kill them you need to do a confirmed kill, which I always find a bit weird, unless you get the death scene where you actually have some extra intel or extra information to glean from having a sort of scene with Odin. But that's stopped happening since you have your Odin interaction in the story arc, and these sub kills here, you sort of hover over them for a bit, nothing happens, so I'm not sure what the benefit of that is. And of course you've got to be careful while you are doing a confirmed kill that you don't get attacked by someone who's creeping up like this guy was. These guys here in this particular camp, they look like bandits to me, but they're also, some of them are dressed like druids, so it's I think they're bandit druids, but it's not the same as some of the druid camps and the druids that I've encountered in caves and things like that, where they really have a lot of magic. But I do think that one negative point I could say about this is that they're not disclosing early enough what the hell is going on with these druids. I mean, I'm encountering them all over the place in different camps and things like that, and it's clear when, you know, it's very obvious when you do interact with the druids, because there's a lot of magic happening around the area in the form of smoke, poisonous gas and things like that, as well as the druids themselves have special abilities, and there, as I said in my previous video, there's actually werewolves and things like that I've encountered, but no one's explaining to Eivor why these things are happening. It hasn't come up in conversation with Kiara or Barid or King Flann, so in that respect I feel like you would benefit from having some kind of explanation tied to the story, which would explain why you're having to encounter druids. These guys, as I say, are just bandits. And there are 3 of them in the camp, of which you need to... So you could come in here. Now, let's talk about the king's plea, for example, which is to remain... do not take any damage. Now, you can come in here and assassinate these 3 by creeping around, but then you still got to collect everything, and I just don't see it happening where you're going to do it all completely. I've talked about this before a lot in my videos. I don't see Eivor being the kind of character that creeps around and does everything in a super stealthy way. He's a Viking after all, and it's all about having the honor. You know, your honor is a huge thing with if you're a Viking, and you'd want to go in and show people that they're about to die and give them a chance to defend themselves and have a proper fight worthy of honor, rather than creeping up behind everyone and assassinating them while they're not even looking, stabbing them in the back and all that kind of stuff. I just don't feel like that doesn't sit right with me for Eivor. In some other Assassin's Creed games, yeah, okay, I get it, but not with this one. So I tend to not go in super stealthy out of choice most of the time, to give Eivor a chance to use his combat skills. And what's the point in having all these combat abilities and ranged abilities and things like that if you don't use them? And it's way cooler to run around and actually fight people and outfight them than it is to just run around stabbing people in the back. I don't mind doing it a couple of times, particularly the first few people that I encounter, if it means I get to go in and sneak in and figure out, okay, who's where, how many people are there. But I certainly am not going to run around stabbing people in the back continuously. So that's why I'm not really into so the King's Plea doesn't interest me in the same way that it might interest someone else, but it's a personal choice, I guess. So once we're done with the second of these, you need to do 3 of these royal demands just to get through and progress to the next part of this story mission, and moving on to gathering strength, which is the next mission. So I have one more that I need to do, so I'm heading back to pick up another mission from the post. And I notice now on my map that I'm starting to see these posts appear all over the place. So as I said, this is another inbuilt part of the game which gives you something else to do, which gives you a variety, and it all ties in together nicely. So it's not just the case that you are able to set up your trade posts and that's it, you're all done. Because again, remember, this costs £20 if you're in the UK, so I guess around, I don't know, $25, something like that, $28 in the US. So it's a fairly sizable price, considering a game itself only costs $40 quid or something like that. I don't know how much Assassin's Creed Valhalla is now to buy, but the fact that it is having these expansion packs added to it, and it's a brave and bold decision to put these expansion DLCs at a cost like that. I don't know if it's maybe the right move. I would have preferred it, of course, from a consumer point of view, if they'd have gone down the GTA route where the added expansion packs and the DLCs are free and you need to earn some kind of in-game currency. But Ubisoft works slightly differently, so I get that. But I'm seeing more evidence to support the fact that it's worth buying this DLC than I am against that. So I would definitely, at this stage, having been playing in this DLC now for a few days, that it is definitely worth purchasing. If you're a fan of this game and you completed the story arcs like I have, and you're looking for something else to do, then this is exactly what you want. And I'm really hopeful that they add some further expansion packs as well. So this is another area of the map that I've been to before, which is why I'm not hanging around. You can see I've already taken the wealth from that chest, because it's again just down the road from my trade post. What I tend to do is convert a trade post and then look for the surrounding areas and see where I can get materials from. So we're done with this. So now we're going to move on and go back and visit Flann and prepare for war, I guess. Thanks for watching this. Take care. I'll be back in another video very soon.